Hi, this is Majinoni, and here's my reviews for Scarlet Spider number 1, Suicide Squad number 5, and Batman and Robin number 5. Now, the first thing with Batman and Robin number 5 is, I think so far the story is interesting, but it's not what I would consider the best Batman and Robin I've ever read. This actually is more, I guess you can say it's an important storyline because you have to establish Bruce and Damian's relationship, and I think you have to, in a way, you also have to move the relationship forward. Now, while I do really enjoy the Dick Grayson, Damian bickering constantly and lack of respect, it doesn't work as well with Bruce and Damian. I still like it. I still like the fact Damian is rebellious and he's a little jerk, but eventually he's going to have to respect Bruce. And this is a step, I think, that it's doing in at least going in that direction. Now, what we have here is Druckard is basically tempting Damian to turn evil, be his sidekick. And Bruce is discovering, oh my goodness, I can't believe I didn't realize Damian is really this troubled of a kid type thing. And then we also get a background with Druckard and Bruce and how they met and things like that. I mean, overall, I'd say it's a decent story, but it's not, I would definitely say this is not one of the strongest DC titles, but I'm still entertained. I think the art's decent, and it's a solid read, but I don't think it's necessary. If you're a Batman fan, you can pretty much just skip this, and then you still know Damian's a little punk. But otherwise, it's alright. Next up is Suicide Squad number 5, The Prison Riot. Now, I love the King Shark picture here. That's awesome. And basically, what Suicide Squad's turning out to be right now is just battle. There's very little story, and all it is just let's see who we can throw in and fight and that get killed. In this case, what we have is Harley Quinn is planning her escape, so she causes mayhem in the prison, and there's a prison riot. Amanda Waller basically is like, look, if you don't stop this riot within a certain time limit, you're all going to die. So it's the Suicide Squad, or what I should say, left of them, they don't have much option, so they have to go fight and try to settle this thing as quickly as possible. And what you have is Deadshot just basically going, well, the quickest way to do that is just start killing people. And he's pretty much accurate on that. You don't want to mess around, just start shooting them. And the Diablo guy, he's kind of he's got his fire attacks, but yet he doesn't really go all out until later. And when he does go all out, I'm like, ooh, I really like that. I really, really like it. The one thing I was wondering also is the King Shark. I'm like, where's King Shark? This is what I live for. And I finally get this awesome part here where you have this guy here, I forgot his name, Yo-Yo. And he's looking for King Shark, and he sees him. And King Shark, true to his name, basically just he eats him. And I thought that was an awesome sequence, but he doesn't do anything after that, which left me sad. Overall, I don't know, it's like I like it, but I don't like it. I think this is one of those cases where if I dropped it tomorrow, I'm not going to worry about it, it's no big deal. But I still find just enough entertainment in this storyline to keep me wanting to read more. But it's alright. I mean, it's, I don't think this is going to get, I don't think it's going to aspire to greatness, I guess is what I'm saying. I think what it's going to do is it's going to settle on an average title where you're just going to have a rotating cast of characters. And on one hand, if that's what you're looking for, that's great, because you're going to get to see a lot of villains, you're going to see a lot of killing, and a lot of craziness. But if you're looking for something with a little bit more meat to it, you're probably not going to find it in this. And finally, Scarlet Spider number 1. Now, I thought Yost was just going to, this was going to be a complete waste of my time. It didn't matter who's writing it, who's drawing it, doesn't matter. I thought this was going to be a waste. And I have to admit, it was a little bit better than what I thought it was. Basically what they're doing is they're taking Kane and they're transplanting him in Houston. And that's going to be his new base of operations. And what he's doing is he's trying to establish himself in that city. I don't want to say he's trying to establish himself as a superhero, but because he's still in that process. Now, he does save some people, but at the same time, he's kind of a little bit reckless and dangerous when he does it. Now, one part, I didn't notice it at first, but then when I read through it again, I noticed that somebody just was being lazy just for the convenience of story. Kane basically saves a girl. There's like a human trafficking that's going on, and there's a compartment, one of those containers, dead people all inside there except for one girl. So he takes her to the hospital. Now, if you notice here, this is the hospital. The hospital these people up here are on a floor that's higher. And part of me is going, already this might not even be right, because if a cop brings in somebody into the hospital, most likely what they do is they take him into the emergency room for treatment. And then once they're processed, then they're released for it. But what it looks like is, they are still in the emergency room. Emergency rooms are on the bottom floor. They're not like 2-3 floors up, because you have to get to the patient as quickly as you can, and you don't want to wait for an elevator type thing. Now, from here, what you have is you have a guy, Kane. Granted, they don't know it's Kane, but here's a guy who's holding a body, who's basically asking for help. So what does the cop do? The cop starts to pull a gun on a guy walking into a hospital holding a body asking for help. I'm like, what type of asinine cop would do that? No cop does that. That doesn't make sense. And on top of that, why did he go up to the second or third floor when the check-in is on the bottom? I mean, that would mean he would have to swing, then go through a window, and then ask for help, versus just doing it like everybody else and just drop him on the front part of the emergency part. So this whole thing is just ludicrous. I mean, why would you take them all the way up to the top floor and look for a nurse when you can just take them to the emergency area and then they're ushered right in? And, that's where all their prep stuff is. I mean, that's really stupid. So, alright, that just gave me massive headache and I'm like, this is nonsense. But anyways, let's go back to the story. Now, Kane basically, like I said, he settles in, and what I do think they do well is they give you the flashbacks or the basic story of how we get to where we are. And they do it in such a way where it's not an overburden, and it just kind of flows pretty nicely. So I give them props for that. They also kind of give him a new look. He's got to cut his hair. But then again, hey guys, I'm going to be this new superhero in town, and let me swing through traffic without a mask or anything, because that's really smart. And eventually, this is going to be his new villain type thing, and he's got fire powers. So we'll see what happens. Oh, and here he is saving an old woman, and instead of doing it smartly, he comes crashing down on the car, which sends the driver right to the windshield. Hence, this is a more reckless character. I mean, he understands where he made a mistake, and I'm not criticizing the what they did to the story. I'm just criticizing the fact that he's an idiot. And but I think it's an important establishment to show that he's not Peter Parker. He's nothing like a classic superhero. And it definitely shows that. And so for that I understand, and I'm like, okay. I'm okay with that. But overall, I don't know. I'm like iffy on this. There's one hand I'm like, alright, I'm going to go buy it. I'll get issue number 2. And another hand is going, what are you, insane? Why would you want to do this? And here's the other thing I don't understand. They don't show the costume at all. I mean, they show you like little pieces of it, like the mask and things like that. But it's like, oh, look at this big mystery. We don't want you to know what it looks like. And it's right there on the cover. Hey, You know, hey Marvel, let me give you a clue. You showed us what the costume is. There's no big surprise, so you don't have to hide it. Like what you think that we don't know what it looks like? Do you think comic books come without covers and then we don't know what you're planning? I mean, come on. Use a little brain cells there. So, anyways, I think I think a lot of people will find this entertaining. I just don't know if they're going to think of it as a home run. I do think there's going to be a bunch of Spider fans out there who are just going to love this thing to death, especially the Kane fans. But like I said, I'm on the fence. I think there could be something really potentially good. I just don't know if I want to wait for it and spend the money for it. So, anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think, and I'll have more reviews out later. So until next time.